One of the biggest questions I get asked is, can you work with level 2 autism? Yes, you can work with level 2 autism, but I don't think people understand what that really looks like. I can work, but the problem is everything that happens before work, during work, and especially after work. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's like to work with level 2 autism and what that actually looks like on a daily basis. I recently made a decision that honestly really makes me feel like a failure, but I reduced my hours significantly at work. It's brought up a lot of like guilt and shame for me, honestly. I don't really know why, because I'm doing this for my mental health and to better myself and put myself in a more sustainable situation. So it's really not anything for me to be ashamed about, but that's just the emotions that I'm dealing with right now because of that decision. It's just like the embarrassment. Like, I'm like pretty good at my job and people depend on me at my job. So it just feels like I'm letting my managers and coworkers and stuff down by not being available more and by not working as much as other people, in my position work. So it's just hard and it just feels so embarrassing, and especially like being late diagnosed autistic. I didn't like grow up knowing that I had limitations. So a lot of the ingrained beliefs and stuff are neurotypical beliefs that don't apply to me. So I have to deal with a lot of shame in situations like this. The thing about me reducing my hours, so it wasn't actually because of the work itself. This is what this video is really about. Let's just say everybody starts the day at 100%, and autistic people, everything that you have to do throughout the day takes a lot more energy than everybody else. Like getting ready in the morning, driving, things like that take a lot more energy out of your 100% that you have per day. By the time you actually clock in and you're actually working, you've spent so much more energy than other people that's also working. Like, you use energy that they haven't had to use before you even get on the clock. So you're already at like a huge disadvantage. Just like you're on low power mode all day and everybody's just came in at like 95. Little things like being asked a question that I wasn't expecting by a manager or something like that can completely throw me off. It's like little things. They take a lot of energy, and mental capacity, executive dysfunction, like all that stuff, it just piles up. And then it's like, how, like on the outside, it's like, how can somebody ask you a question at work like throw off your whole day? It's because like I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know what to say, and I had to figure out what to say. And then all the coworkers and everybody's here, and all of that at the same time, all at once. And if you don't relate to it, you just don't get what that feels like. There's constant task switching, especially in the kind of job that I have. You have to be able to keep up with that, stopping one task, doing another task, all of that switching, and remembering that you're supposed to speak to managers a different way than you may speak to your coworkers, and all of that stuff makes being at work so much harder, especially after you've had to handle hygiene and drive and wake up on time, everything. It just makes it even harder. So it's like, even if you can like manage it and get there, it's like little pieces of the job that isn't even your job tasks, like being around coworkers and things like that can make it so much harder. The communication dynamics makes it a lot harder for me, honestly, because people can think that you're rude. People can think that you're stuck up. And I've had a lot of issues with managers and things in the past because of that, just because I'm quiet and I'm reserved and I don't stand around and talk with everybody all day. You know, people think that you might think that you're better than them or whatever the case may be. I don't know how me being quiet means I'm stuck up and I think that I'm better than everybody else. But I've gotten that a lot when it's like, when my coworkers do speak to me, I try to be as nice as possible and not come off rude, but I'm slower with communication. So it's like, had I had 5 minutes to respond to somebody coming up and talking to me, it would be better than the amount of time that neurotypicals expect you to take to respond to them, because you don't have 5 minutes to say something back to a coworker that's coming up to you and talking to you at work. But in that very, very short amount of time, my brain has to process who's talking to me, what they're saying, what they're actually meaning, whether they're just trying to be friendly or they want to get to know me or be my friend or something like that. I have to process all of that so quickly, and it's everything in that communication is on manual mode. It's like neurotypicals, they are automatically picking up on that underlying meaning and underlying communication, the things that aren't being said verbally, automatically without thinking about it. So if somebody comes up to them, talks to them, they just get it and they're able to respond. And they just and can intuitively know what's going on and how to communicate broadly. So being that everything is on manual, doing all of that thinking and processing manually in this much time and then responding, it's so much harder. And I know I kind of come off like really robotic and stuff like that to people, but it is what it is. Like, there's somebody at my job. We talk sometimes at work, but I know the fact that I don't speak. Like, when I come in, I'm like, I don't really speak to them or stuff like that unless like somebody really speaks to me. I'm not a greetings person. Like, I just can't, like, saying hey, good morning, stuff like that. I'm not the guy. I hate doing it. I never get it right. It's so awkward. So like, once we've had these okay conversations at work, nice conversations at work, and then it's like I don't speak and stuff like that, you know, people get put off by that. And it's just like, it's really early in the morning and I hate speaking to people. But I tried to speak to her one time and I did it, and I felt like crawling in a hole, but I did get it out. It was very robotic, I know it was, and it was awkward, but I did it. And then we can't forget about the sensory aspects of being in a work environment. So like lights, sounds, the noise of other people talking, and then if you're in a food establishment, you got customers there talking, or if you work outside, like, I can imagine, like, it's always changing. It's hot, it's cold, it's windy, whatever. So that's a big aspect. It's really hot at my job. I work inside, but it's really, really hot. And that's really hard. I can't wear shorts because of the job that I'm doing. So like, that's a constant like sensory thing. It's usually pretty loud. I work in a kitchen. Pots, pans, people, noisy. loud, hot, not the best environment for an autistic person, but I do really enjoy the job, duties, cooking. I really enjoy that, so I'm able to do it. But it is hard, and that's why I had to really reduce my hours, because I have been able to recover somewhat and get back to work the next week, but I haven't really been able to do anything else outside of work. So it's not really working because I have to be able to have the energy to do other things. I can't just be alive to go to work. I have to be able to have time for my interests, taking care of myself, taking care of where I live, taking care of hygiene. All of that also has to be taken care of, and that's the part that people don't think of when they're, you know, talking about autism and working and careers and things like that. It's like we can't just put all of our energy into working. We have to be able to do other things outside of work. So there's neurotypical people that can work 40, 50 hours a week and recover and go back to work the next week and have some time to do things outside of work with that schedule. But it may be an autistic person that's working 25 hours a week and they don't have the energy to do anything outside of work, just because that person is working part-time and not having energy and still not having energy to do other things outside of working doesn't mean that they should just continue to do that because they're only working part-time. Just because you're disabled, you're not forced to put all of the limited energy you have into working. That is not where all of your value and stuff is coming from. You're not required to do that to be a moral, good person. Like, that's just insane. I think that's kind of what some people expect of disabled people. Because we have these limitations, we should be putting all the energy that we have into being able to work and contribute to society. But, disabled people have lives as well and, deserve to be able to enjoy their lives, especially since we are already dealing with so many challenges. On top of just all the challenges that humans and people in America and everywhere deal with, because we're gonna have problems anyway, and then being disabled on top of that and being expected to make money and be a contributing person to society, it doesn't mean that you can just forget about being happy and being healthy mentally and physically. All that stuff is important, whether you can work 5 hours a week or 60 hours a week. You still deserve to enjoy your life and have time and energy to do things that you enjoy and to take care of your mental and physical health. So yeah, I reduced my hours even though I'm already working part-time, because I have to cook, I have to wash dishes, I have to get my laundry done, I have to take care of my hygiene, I have to put time into my special interests. And when I've been working the hours that I have been doing, I haven't had the energy to do it. And, thankfully I have some help in my day-to-day life. And thankfully I'm in a situation where I have reduced from rent. I'm not paying full rent. I get Section 8 housing because of my disability, and if I didn't have that and didn't have anywhere to go, I would be in a horrible situation. And unfortunately, there are a lot of disabled people and autistic people in like homeless situations and things like that because of not having family or resources for them, and it's really hard. But I talked a lot about, stuff the hardest parts of being level 2 autistic in my last video. If you want to check that out, I want to talk about things that have actually helped me with working, getting accommodations for my schedule with my diagnosis and everything being like official. I can ask for accommodations with my schedule, like limiting the amount of days I can work per week, and just being open with managers about my disability, which is really scary, and I didn't want to do it, but I did. Spreading out my days, that helps for me. I don't get as many days off in a row, being that they're spread out, but doing 3 days back to back is like really hard and stuff like that. So just having, you know, working 1 to 2 days, having 1 or 2 days off can really help. At least in my situation, it depends. You have to experiment with like what actually works for you and what type of work environment works for you. Because the last job I tried to have before this, I literally worked there 14 hours before I quit. Not an environment for me. Way too disorganized. Not enough like systems in place. Absolutely not a good fit for me. So it does take a level of experimentation in discovering what works for your energy. It's been a work in progress coming to terms with where my actual energy is and what that looks like for me. Because even now, like while reducing my hours, it's like I still feel like I should, quote unquote, be able to work more, or I should be trying to work more, and all those things we tell ourselves and beat ourselves up about. But it's like, I don't have to be at a 10 all the time. I think especially late diagnosed autistic people, we get used to being all the way up here, burnt out all the time. So that becomes like a normal state for us, when now I've been working with my therapist on not getting past an 8 or a 7, staying at 7, 8 max, because 10 is completely burning out. I should not be getting close to that, because I don't want to experience going into burnout again. So having a counselor that's checking in with that helps a lot, because I don't always pay attention and pick up on all the signals of burnout. Keeping that in mind and having somebody that can check in with you on that really helps, because, you know, just because we're not able to work as much or do as much, quote unquote, it doesn't mean that we should be at a 10 all the time trying to keep up with everybody else that's around us. Check in with yourself with that. Have somebody else check in with you, because that right there is like one of the biggest things that has really changed how I'm seeing my life and seeing the things that I do and don't do. Like really thinking about, where is my energy level at week to week, day to day. How is that going? When does it go up? What helps me come down? All of that is really important, just knowing where you are and keeping up with those signals. I hope this video was like somewhat helpful for you guys. If it is, leave a comment below. Thank you for watching.